Have you ever found yourself lost in the alphabet soup around business goal setting? OKRs, KPIs, and I don't know about you, but all the time I see a sea of activity goals in key results. If you feel like you need a dictionary, you're not wrong, and I would love to help. I'm Sara Lobkovich, an OKR expert and strategy achievement coach. I help you make strategy and strategic goals clearer, more psychologically safe, and more achievable and accessible so you can transform your vision of change into undeniable impact. And today, I'm breaking down the essential terms of no BS objectives and key results in plain language. No jargon, no fluff, just straightforward, actually coherent information. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what each type of goal is for and when to use it, since no BS OKRs aren't just about objectives and key results. Before we dive in, though, if you want a copy of the cheat sheet for exactly what I'm about to go through, pop over to findrc.co/key terms to snag that download. Now, let's dive in. Objectives are our ambitious statements of shared purpose. They give us our direction and focus for our effort during the current goal cycle. I always think of these as the mini vision statements that hold up our larger strategy. We may have objectives that align to important themes in the business, important initiatives in the business, but what's important is that we don't have too many. We can only focus on so many things at once with any level of effectiveness. We want a small number of most important objectives that answer the question, what's most important and why does it matter? An example objective might be something like create delightful customer experiences that drive long-term loyalty. Now, key results are where we get measurable. Key results are aspirational, objectively measurable targets that clarify our most important measures of progress. Our key results often start with a directional verb: increase, decrease, improve, reduce. That helps us know that we're in the territory where we're actually talking about numerical change, which is where we want to be with our key results. What you'll notice about key results is that the outcome of them is not within our direct control. The outcome of a key result, multiple variables apply. We create key results in the territories that are so important, we want to remind ourselves of what we're aiming for and of what's most important. And we're going to create those objectively measurable goals in situations where we might influence the outcome or variables, even if we don't control everyone. And an example key result might be increase NPS by 20 points from 30 to 50. And I can hear your objection right now. You might be saying, that's nice, but I don't have a metric like NPS for my work. That's okay. Oftentimes, some of the most transformative key results I see are actually about observable behavior or something other than an instrumented business metric. And sometimes we might build or instrument a new metric because it is so important to do so. So it's important to create key results around what's actually most important, not just what you can measure today. Most OKR models stop and start with objectives and key results. With no BS OKRs, we go a little bit further. Key performance indicators are important. It's actually one of the questions I get the most often is what's the difference between a KPI or a key performance indicator and a key result? Because a lot of organizations use KPIs as goals. In the no BS OKR model for coherence, we stick to the words. Key performance indicators are indicators. They indicate the business's health, well-being, or risk. KPIs are like our body has a pulse, we keep an eye on our pulse. Our body has a blood pressure, we keep an eye on our blood pressure. If our indicator or our KPI of our blood pressure indicates we have an issue, then we might create a key result around improving our blood pressure. But until we create the goal around improvement, we're talking about the metric itself, and that's a KPI. So our KPIs are those ongoing metrics we track to monitor business health and performance. And an example might be total qualified pipeline. All right, there are two other goal types that aren't often integrated into an OKR model with specificity. I consider both of these goal types must-achieves, where we're committing to a specific outcome. These are non-stretch goals on which we are not safe to fail. And one type of those is mandatories. Every business has some mandatories. The examples here are two common ones. For example, we might be committed to a board that we achieve our revenue plan and our operating margin targets, and if we don't, there may be consequences. So, mandatories are not stretch goals. They are specific measurable goals on which we are not safe to fail. And then milestones are specific deliverables or events with target completion dates. So an example there is something like launch a new website by March 31st. When what's most important is that something get done by a date, that's a milestone. There's a variation on milestones, which I call quantified activity goals, and that's when we're saying, like a milestone, something has to get done, except instead of a date, we're saying it has to get done a certain number of times. Where our milestone might be launch a new website by March 31st, quantified activity goal might be complete 3 blog posts this month. All of those goal types I consider must-achieves because our mandatories are committed goals, they're must-achieve, we're not safe to fail, there are consequences if we do. And milestones usually have dependencies where other people are depending on us to complete those. So the purpose of milestones isn't to set stretch dates. The purpose of milestones is to set the dates you're going to meet. And quantified activity, or doing something a certain number of times, is fully within your control. So that makes it more like a milestone and less like a key result. Now, what type of goal should you use when? Remember, our key performance indicators are indicators. They're not goals. We use them when we're monitoring performance. We use milestones when completion by a date is success. And we use mandatories when a specific success criteria has to be achieved or there may be consequences. Objectives come into play when we want a miniature vision statement to inspire and align people toward a shared purpose, and directional, not measurable outcome, usually on a given business theme or for a specific initiative. And key results we use when we want a clear, objective, empirically measurable stretch target to aim for. They ask and answer the question, what might be possible to achieve if everything were to go right in terms of measurable impact? Our milestones and mandatories are committed goals. Those are must-achieve goals. And our objectives and key results are stretch goals. We are safe to try and even fail on them. And this distinction is really important and rarely made in goal models. People need to have clarity on what the committed or must-achieve goals are and where we are able to stretch and safe to try and even fail in pursuit of progress. Because there are places in the business, in places of growth, innovation, and transformation where we are setting out into stretch territory. So there really is no way to commit to an outcome because we are literally in the unknown. We may have to fail a lot on those stretch goals in order to learn and grow and acquire what we need to win and succeed at them someday. But too often in workplaces, I've even experienced this myself. People suffer negative consequences for not achieving their stretch goals by enough, which all it takes is once for a person to experience the lack of coherence of being held accountable for a specific progress measure performance level on a stretch goal to figure out it's much safer to treat everything as a commit and to only create conservative goals. And when we do that, we leave all sorts of growth, transformation, innovation, experimentation on the table because we're only setting goals we're confident that we can achieve, which usually means we're just making plans about what is within our control, not actually taking the important steps we need to into the unknown, which is where we find that growth, innovation, and transformation. If you found this breakdown helpful, I've created a free key terms cheat sheet that you can download at findrc.co/key terms so that you can put what we've talked about here into immediate practice. And this video is just the beginning. I'm launching a 6-episode series answering the most essential questions about no BS OKRs in practice. Hit subscribe so you don't miss any of these upcoming episodes where we'll dive even deeper into how to make OKRs work for you, and you'll learn how to dodge a lot of the avoidable pitfalls that slow down a lot of OKR implementations. Save yourself the frustration of DIY and trying to figure it out and learning while making avoidable mistakes by just starting with a solid playbook from the beginning. Now, what terms did I miss today? Drop any words you're wondering about into the video comments and I'll include them in a follow-up soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this helpful. Grab your cheat sheet at findrc.co/keyterms and then come back and see me soon.